Hello there. If this is true, then Nigel Farage and Reform UK could pull off a seismic-sized surprise at the next general election. If. The rumours are swirling. The former Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn, who is now persona non grata with his old team, is on the verge of forming his own political party. A real left-wing Labour Party that would suck a lot of the life out of the current lacklustre Labour Party run by Keir Starmer. Corbyn, the MP for Islington North, would not do this as a vanity project. He would have done his research. He will know how many Labour MPs on the hard left of the Labour Party who would be prepared to cross the floor to join him. He would also attract most of the Momentum crowd, many of Labour's hard green acolytes, as well as a vast chunk of the Muslim vote, with the latter tending to be concentrated in certain areas of the country, making the possibility of winning seats even more likely. This would be a nightmare for Starmer. But could this be the move that also forces Nigel Farage to show his hand? Because with a split Labour vote, the chances of getting another useless Tory term in office can only increase. Another damaging term with a probably minority Tory party bumbling about in the dark, doing the anti-UK and anti-Brexit bidding of the UN and the WEF. So if Farage and Tice are true to their word of wanting to destroy the Tories, then they would need to step up to ensure the Tories do not benefit from a Corbyn interjection. But that would also require Richard Tice to stand aside as the leader of Reform UK in favour of Farage. And it would further require Nigel Farage to run a successful personal campaign and get elected as an MP. And the whole Tory, Labour, Lib Dem and Green machine will sweat away night and day to put the kibosh on that one, just as they did in 2015. But they would also be after Corbyn too. But it could be difficult for the old parties because the whole political news agenda would pivot towards the upstarts of Corbyn and Farage. Who in the UK is going to be interested in listening to the tired and predictable old policies of Rishi Sunak's Tories, Keir Starmer's Labour and what's-his-name's Lib Dems? And Reform UK might have the edge here, because the left-wing vote will be split between Labour, Corbyn's new party, the Lib Dems and the Greens, as well as a chunk of the left-of-centre Tory vote. Although a new Corbyn party could be off to a flyer if he can get those harder left Labour MPs to cross the floor to his party early on. As a result, though, Reform UK could, given a following wind and an electorate ready to take a chance with a new party, they could win a lot of seats too. And so could Jeremy Corbyn. Two new parties revitalising UK politics. Now many people have been predicting a low turnout at the next general election because people are hacked off with the current crop of politicians. However, what if it's a low turnout, but from those who are willing to look at new UK political parties with new policies and new faces, the latter probably being the most important part? We've already had the Tories trying to keep the blinkered electorate on the uniparty path by saying if you vote for Reform you'll just get Labour, completely missing the point that more and more Tory supporters are waking up to this new socialist brand called the Tory Party. More and more of them are already looking for something else, anything else. And if Corbyn does take the plunge with a new, very left-of-centre party, how long would it be before we hear the same sort of rhetoric from Keir Starmer about a vote for Corbyn being a vote for the Tories? Just think about the messages that would be coming out of the different factions. The old red and blue would continue down the tried and tested but about to fail route of if you don't vote for us goodies, you'll get them baddies. And vote for us because you've only got 24 hours to save the NHS. The same old two-party state arguments, the old chestnuts, we've heard it all before. How long would it take for those messages to become irrelevant and ignored by vast swathes of the electorate? How long before people start to listen to Farage and Corbyn to see if they hold the answers people are actually looking for? If Corbyn does this, it will re-energise UK politics, and both Starmer and Sunak will be the losers. We can but hope.
From all reports I am getting, it looks like the Metropolitan Police has been utterly compromised by a certain demographic. The demographic I speak of is the Arthritic Vegan Horse Riding Society. I would be referring to no other demographic now, would I? No. Right now, the Met are investigating Israel for war crimes. Why? You can't walk out of your front door in London without someone trying to knife you. Yet, the Metropolitan Police are focusing a proportion of its manpower to a foreign war and decidedly taking a side within that conflict. I mean, just take a look at the two-tier policing in London. If you are a supporter of one side of the conflict, you get a red carpet to demonstrate in the centre of London and run amok regardless of the cost to the taxpayer, which in turn means less funds to tackle knife crime in London. Yet, if you follow another side in the Israel-Gaza conflict, your demonstrations will be severely frowned upon. Well, just to look at the way they treated Tommy, it's more than apparent to any Jew or person who believes in this country that our police, especially the Met, are anti-Semitic. Yet our so-called king is full of celebrations for our diversity and inclusiveness. This country is what it was built upon. Yes, this woke society, Your Majesty. Yes, His Majesty's emblems are all over the uniforms of the Met, and I don't hear him speaking out against the antics of his officers. Yes, the fact that London and many other of our major towns and cities have fallen to the Arthritic Vegan Horse Riding Society demographic, which is, of course, the demographic that I am referring to yet again. Oh, His Majesty, a man who, much like his mother, has kept such great company, such wonderful social circles, like a certain Mr. Savile and a certain Bishop Peter Ball. I mean, how were the royals with the Secret Service monitoring all and vetting all who came into their presence and social circles? How were they supposed to know about Mr. Savile's open secret? Honestly, I am left wondering, which list is worse? Epstein's client list or the honours list? Oh, and the list of King Charles's friends and family. But hey, we have to focus our minds on the late Professor Stephen Hawking and his potential wrongdoings on an island. Maybe he was a wrong-un. Dunno. Maybe the late Queen was a wrong-un, along with her husband. Dunno. Because of course all of this is nothing more than speculation, is it? Circulating speculation on the interweb, and without facts we have nothing. Facts that would be easily revealed by the missing tapes that the authorities are sitting on in America. I mean, short of getting a medium and a speak and spell, we are never going to know what Hawking did on that island with Mr. Epstein. Now, some of you will be scratching your heads as to why I would mention Her Majesty, the late Queen, such a lovely lady, who, through the security reports from the Secret Services, was almost certainly fully aware of her son's antics and paid his hush-hush money. A woman who chose Prince Andrew to accompany her in the car and sit next to her and escort her throughout the memorial service for her late husband, which took place after the death of Mr. Epstein. Make no mistake, this was a blatant act of defiance against the people, screaming the message that this is my son, and he is better than you, no matter what he does. One rule and set of morals for you, and another for us. Know your place, peasants. Yes, Her Majesty entertained Savile and his ilk, and then elevated them in their societal standing with a simple touch of the sword, whilst being fully aware of their true natures. Why would I mention the late Queen? Oh, no reason. But you need to know the failings of this country end at the gates of Buckingham Palace. The gates behind where those that legitimise what happens in this country live and rule. Their Majesty's governments, their Majesty's judiciary, their Majesty's police force have brought this country to where it is now. Were it not for the aforementioned institutions, the buck would lie somewhere else, wouldn't it? I want a king, a monarch, and not a constitutional turd on a throne. I mean, I want a true king and a just king who will rule with a rod of iron, with no democratic accountability, and implement laws based upon the Judeo-Christian heritage of this land. But that's just me. What do you want? And you may utterly disagree with everything I have said. So don't be shy, don't hold back. What do you, Janet and Johns, think about what has been said in today's video? Leave your dribbles and your drabbles in the comments section below for Jeff and I to read. And please get yourselves over to Locals, our Locals page, which the link is in the descriptions box below. And please, sign up. And other than Locals, no other platform seems to be a viable option for us or many other content creators, in case you hadn't noticed. Yes, we all need a backup, so please join us over there. And yes, it is subscription-based for not all the content, but most of it. But videos don't make themselves. Thus, we can talk a lot freer over at Locals. And we intend to propagate the channel with more and more content in the future. So, listen, just God bless you all, and bye for now.